I told my dad's ex that she could have been my mom if she didn't cheat. This story came September 8th, 2024. Let me describe my family a bit. I'm the youngest of 4 children, by far the youngest. I have 2 older brothers and 1 older sister. My mom is my dad's second wife. From his first wife, I have an older half-sister who is 3 years older than my oldest full sibling. His first wife, his childhood friend, cheated on him way before, and after my dad made sure my half-sister was his, he divorced her. He met my mom, and a few years later, they tied the knot, and the rest is history. My half-sister has always been welcome in our house. She gets along really well with all of us, and even calls my mom Auntie. Her mom, though, has always been a bit of a harpy. She hates my mom for many reasons outside of she stole my man. My mom is a retired fitness model and a current Pilates instructor, so she looks really good for her age while she's more average and plump. So she would always make snarky remarks like, "Oh, did you gain weight? Or are you pregnant again?" Even though my mom never stopped taking care of herself. With me though, she dotes on me and calls me the son she never had. With my older siblings, she mostly just ignores them. So my half-sister is getting married and my dad and his ex agreed to split the cost of the wedding 50-50. My dad doesn't care about planning for the wedding, so he left it all to the ex and the bride. During one of our meet and greet dinners, my half-sister revealed that she also invited my dad's estranged brother and parents. I can still remember my dad shooting a glare of pure anger at her. I asked my mom later why he reacted like that. I never met my uncle or my grandparents on my dad's side, but from how my mom spoke, my dad's ex cheated on him with his brother, and his parents knew it for years before confessing. Understandable why he wouldn't want them there on the wedding day. So my half-sister could really have been my aunt or something if the sperm chase went wrong. My dad's ex was together with my dad's brother for a while after she and my dad divorced, but split soon after. And my dad refused to forgive his family for fooling him like that, and he went no contact with them for 25 years. So back to the dinner. My dad asked in a very stern yet quiet voice why she would, and my half-sister said she wanted to make her wedding more meaningful by also having a family reunion, and her mother supported her. She told my dad to bury the hatchet, at least for her daughter. My dad said she didn't have any right to tell him how to act. On her way out, my dad's ex and I bumped into each other, and she commented to me saying how she hoped that I wouldn't have a chip on my shoulder like my dad does. If not for that, they could still be one whole happy family. I didn't like her tone and reminded her that she was the one who cheated and broke the family. And I told her that she could have been my mom. The last part made her cry like crazy as she ran out of the house. My dad asked me what happened and I told him, and he just grunted. Did I go too far? Let's check out what Reddit is saying, but I want to know from you in the comments if you think that comment was too far or was it deserved, some might say. Someone commented and said, "What about your father facing his estranged brother and parents at the wedding?" OP said, "Well, my dad is struggling with that at the moment. He really doesn't want to see his brother and parents because he says there are lines that family don't cross." Can't say that I would ever want to see those people again. That's not what family does to family. Next comment, is there a possibility your half-sister is mean? OP responded, "My half-sister is actually really nice. My dad used to say that she was the only good thing from his first marriage. Maybe a bit clueless here and there. About her mother, I more or less go with what I've seen her do to me and my family. She's a mixed bag in that regard. She doesn't really interact with my brothers as they scare her too much. My sister looks so much like my mom, so she doesn't really acknowledge her. To me though, she always treated me a lot better. She even compared me and my dad when he was younger." Okay, so the half-sister's not inviting them to be mean in any kind of way. She just kind of wants all the family to be together. Our first update came September 10th, 2 days later. I read your comments. I'm glad to know that at least I wasn't being cruel. My dad's ex just bawled so much and suddenly that I thought I did something awful and I was worried. As of now, I don't really know what my dad is going to do. I know that my mom and dad are talking about it, but he really seems conflicted. I thought about asking him, but my oldest brother told me not to. He said that I had nothing to do with it, so I shouldn't bother him. But my full siblings and I just talked to my half-sibling about what she had done in our WhatsApp chat tonight. First, my full sister tore my half-sister a new one, calling her all sorts of names before my brother told her to stop or leave the chat. Then he asked her why she did what she did. Turns out that her idea of including a family reunion in her wedding was an idea from our paternal grandparents and her mom. Unlike myself and my full siblings, my half-sister regularly visited her grandparents and talked to them a lot about us. My grandparents apparently wanted to see us really bad, and her mom popped the idea. Then my second oldest brother said that while it was her wedding and she could invite whoever she liked, she didn't take our father's feelings into account. There was a reason he went no contact with them for all those years, and it wasn't up to her to try to fix the burnt bridges. My half-sister then asked if he was going to pull money out of the wedding, and my sister sent a brutal message and said, "Is that the most important thing right now? I added that our father hasn't told us anything. Then my half-sister said that she shouldn't have even done this to begin with, and my sister commented and said, "Ya think?" She wondered if she could unsend wedding invitations to her grandparents and uncle, but then her mom might pull her half of the money. I sent a chat to my full siblings only chat asking if dad could fund the whole wedding if that meant not inviting, his brother and grandparents. My oldest brother told me to can it and not bother dad. She also asked how our dad has been, and I said he's very conflicted and talking only to my mom about it. I then asked if her mom was okay since I made her cry. She said that her mom calmed down when they returned home. Apparently they got into an argument when she called my dad a stubborn snob. To be honest, I think she's in a very tight spot. She can either piss off our dad or her mom. I don't know what my dad is going to do, and my oldest brother already reminded me twice that this wasn't my business. I honestly think dad would be up for paying for the entire wedding if his estranged family didn't come. Of course, it's his money though. Or maybe he's just so angry that he might pull out altogether. Edit. I just wanted to add a few things. I didn't post the entire conversation that my full siblings and I had with my half-sister. I only pulled the relevant parts. Number 2, what I was thinking when I thought my dad could pay for the entire wedding was, does dad hate his family to the point where he would pay for everything just for them to not be there? I wasn't actually suggesting he pay for everything. That's stupid. Number 3, looks like a lot of you are wondering if my half-sister knew what happened between my dad and his family. She knows that they hurt him badly and that he has never forgiven them, but not the specifics of how they had hurt him. She knew the cheating part, but not the family lied to him for years part. Apparently, that's not something her mom or my dad's family discussed with her. Not totally surprised. I'm sure they're not gonna paint themselves in a bad light if they don't have to, I guess. Oh, I'm so sorry, Lila. Am I interrupting your sleep? Lila's snoring over there, if you can hear her. The next update, things are getting interesting. This one says it was posted by the half-sister on September 12th. So the sister has entered the chat. Half-sister bride, in case you're lost. Hello. So I am the half-sister to the OP who made the posts regarding me. My brother told me about his post on Reddit about me a few days back. He suggested that I do the same here. First of all, I love my baby brother more than any other member of my family since I've helped take care of him since he was born. Second, I am very grateful for my father. He never mistreated me or made me feel lesser than any of his other children, so I did not mean to betray him in any way. My mother had told me about her affair when I was in middle school, so I understood early on why they weren't together. I don't think I was ever angry at her since I was always welcome to see him and his family anytime that I wanted. But I wasn't aware until recently that the affair was related to my uncle. Oh, minor detail. Sarcasm. I asked my grandmother many times why my father would never visit them, and she would say it was because he was too busy with work or his kids. I asked my father one time, and he just said the same thing. I showed him their socials before, and he merely just brushed over them. But I remember he never talked about them before, at least in front of me. Skip forward to recently. While I was coming up with the wedding invitation, I remember my grandparents and my mother asking if they could be invited. And I said, not knowing what had really happened, of course. And then the dinner happened, like my baby brother described in his first post. After the dinner, my father was so cold to me that I confronted him as to what the huge issue was. My father told me that I should have known better to invite them to the wedding that he was paying for. And I asked him what the heck was his problem. My father then asked if I knew what they did, and I just replied that he never visited them. Then I heard from Auntie that my mother had an affair with my uncle way before they married, and their parents knew and hid the secret. I swear to God, I didn't know about this. I then asked why he never told me this, and my father answered that he already did the worst that he could do, which was to never talk or see them ever again. He had no intention of souring my relationship with his estranged family. I then asked my father what I should do, and he just hugged me hard, and he said that it was my choice. I returned the hug and I went out with my mom, and she was crying when she was walking out. I confronted my mom immediately when we got home. My mother went on a tirade about how my father was one who chose divorce and to break up his family, so I left. Now I am considering canceling their wedding invites, but I don't know how to do it in the best way. To be honest, I don't want them at my wedding anymore. If they want to celebrate it, they can do it at a different time. I don't know if I should write a letter to them. I don't want to push aside any members of my family. I do not envy the spot you're in. I really don't. And you didn't have all the details, and I feel like there's no winning here. Because if you don't invite them or take the invites back, your mom is probably going to have a bunch of issues for that. I feel like a lot of people can relate to this if they have divorced parents and at any point we're stuck in the middle between stuff that happened in their previous marriage, anything like that. Divorced parents is not a fun thing. Take it from one of them. Well, I'm not the divorced parent, obviously. Out of curiosity though, since we're all friends here, are you a child of divorce? I'm just curious, what the ratio would be like in the chat, whose parents are happily together and whose parents are divorced. All right, so let's check out some of the comments. Okay, so these comments were addressed to the half-sister on this update post. Someone asked, why was your first question to your half-siblings about money? She wrote back and said it wasn't. This was just one of the questions I asked. Trust me, I asked a lot. Next comment, do you see your relationship with your siblings getting better, apart from the youngest, of course? Half-sister wrote, I still talk to them like normal. My sister and I got heated because she thought I knew about the family thing. She apologized to me later in person when I cleared the air in a one-on-one coffee meet. In fact, she wants to help me plan now, and I am not talking with my mother for the time being. My two older brothers are keeping it real too. The one that apparently told the youngest to can it, I scolded him slightly, saying that he's just trying to help me. I swear he's too much like our father, a terrible conversationalist with a heart of gold. My other brother is showing support too. Interesting. Okay, I liked hearing from the half-sister there. I feel like that gives us a whole other perspective on the situation. We've got a lot more updates, but first, I need a sip of water, and so do you. All right, it's hydration station. Cheers.
Miss Girl has a grooming appointment tomorrow morning. Lila, do you go see Chelsea tomorrow? So this is her before, and then she's gonna show you her haircut. Yeah, that sigh is because she's not really thrilled about the bath part. She hates baths. But you're gonna look so cute and clean. Well, we'll see, girl. Let's do the big reveal. We're gonna do a transition. Ready? Picture pop. Ready? Here we go. Okay. We're just showing your haircut to everybody. Say I went to the groomers and I did such a good job. Your cute little... Oh, you want to dance? Okay, show them your dance. And your cute little bandana. You did such a good job. Do you like your haircut? Do you like your haircut?
All right, so the next update was 5 days later after the half-sisters post. We are going back to the original OP who was writing it, the brother. The brother says, I have some small updates and I won't have any updates for a while. So my half-sister came over on Sunday and talked to my dad. Basically, she made the decision to have the wedding without her extended family and pay for half of the wedding by herself and her fiance. She sort of figured that her mom would pull her money out for making that decision. Dad seems to be much happier about it. I saw her crying a lot and my dad hugging her. Not sure on what exactly happened, but I am guessing that she apologized and he accepted it. She stayed with us during this weekend and her mom came by. Mom and dad wouldn't let her in, so my half-sister and her mother talked outside for a bit. I guess it started off well, but then I heard shouting from outside, so when I came downstairs, both of them were screaming at each other. My dad calmly walked out and told my half-sister to go on in. He talked to her calmly while she went back and forth from screaming to crying. Then a car came by and a man stepped out. He walked towards my dad and held out his hand, but dad didn't take it. Oh my God, is this the uncle? He sort of looked like my dad, but shorter and with longer hair. So I guessed that he was my uncle. He tried to talk to my dad, but my dad pretty much ignored him. I went to my brothers and I told them what was happening, and they immediately walked down and outside. They told me to stay inside, so I continued to just stare out the window. I would have done the same. There's no way I'm missing this. My brother just stood on the balcony. The new man said hi to them, but they didn't respond. Anyway, my dad spoke a bit with his ex-wife for a while and then came back inside with my brothers. His ex-wife was glaring at my dad for a bit before going back to her car with that guy. When my brother sat down, I asked if that was my uncle, and the oldest one nodded. Apparently, my two older brothers met my uncle purely by accident before. Things were smooth that night. My half-sister's fiance came by and we all had a nice dinner. My mom and sisters went away to plan the wedding since her mother is not joining in anymore. My brothers, my dad, me, and the fiance just talked about stuff until we heard lots of honking right outside. We went to check it out and my uncle was back with my dad's ex-wife. My dad told my mom to call the cops while he tried to handle the situation. My brothers, my dad, and my half-sister's fiance went out. There was some yelling and screaming, but then the cops came and they went away. So for the time being, my half-sister will be staying with us. I thought it was all done until I got a text from my dad's ex after school yesterday. She asked if I could help her with something. I just blocked her number, but then she texted me on another number. I'm pretty sure my parents and brother would say block her again, but there is nothing stopping her from using a new phone number to bug me. Not sure what I can help her with anyways. What does she want? I'm so nosy. I just want to know what she wants. Obviously, you're not going to do it, but I want to know. All right, we have reached the final update, which came 6 months later. We're at February 27th, 2025, and it is the half-sister giving the final update. So a lot of you have been asking for updates. I suppose I will just comment here instead of making a new post. I got married a few months ago, and I'm expecting my first child. 6 weeks pregnant this week. My wedding had gone off without a hitch. My father and his family all came, and my heart sank for a second. And my mom and my grandparents were uninvited. Okay. I thought you meant like his estranged family. Instead, they reached out after the wedding and honeymoon, hoping that I don't ghost them forever. No more drama there, so that is good. And since my pregnancy, my father and auntie, his wife, have been very supportive. They have been buying things from my baby registry so that I would have everything that I need. I told my mother about my pregnancy and she wanted me to move in with her so that she could help. But after everything, I am keeping my distance unless I have no choice. All right, so a happy ending in the end. Well, not ideal, because, you know, you don't want to be estranged from your own mother and stuff, but I'm happy that your wedding day was smooth. I'm going to see what people are saying now after all that drama went down. Someone commented and said, I'm really struggling to understand how a person can cheat on someone with their brother and still expect to have a positive relationship. Yeah. Same. Yet they do. It's so annoying. Next comment, it sounded like the cheating was pre-marriage but didn't come out until later. So I am sure the ex had the mindset of, I was young and dumb, how can you be mad? When he divorced, it was his fault for not forgiving something so long ago in her mind. Not agreeing at all, just suggesting her likely mindset. Sure. Well, let me know all your thoughts and feelings, you guys. I will see you in the comment section because this one was juicy and I want to know what your thoughts are. Okay? Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.